up, guys? This is Chris here, and today we're going to be out here shooting some footage with a few guns, and one of those is the brand new Smith Wesson 357 lever action. A little bit spicy weather out here, but I think we should be fine as long as we hide behind some buildings, and I'm waterproof, so no big deal. Now, the gun itself had me really excited at SHOT Show, so I had Smith send me this for review here, and now you guys know that will not change my opinion at all. We're going to shoot 357 through it today. We're going to shoot some 38 special, and you're going to see everything that happens, every round fired down range, and we're going to see if this bad boy works. Now, I'm pretty excited for this. I like the idea of them doing the previous lever action. I like the system that they used, but this one has me more excited than the one they did last year. First off, I like the black on black. That's pretty cool. Second off, this one is in 357. I like 357 lever guns a lot because, again, you can use 38 special or 357 through the same gun. This one has a full M-lock rail here all the way out. It has a threaded barrel for suppressors. We have an HD front sight with a blacked out rear ghost ring, a Scalarworks mount here with an RMR on it. I think that's the exact same system I used last time. It's just like one of the only co-witness mounts I have, and I like my optics up a little high, and I like them off the lever gun just a little bit. One of the things I like the most about this gun, though, is the full length rail on the top there above the barrel. So if you want to put a full scope on there, you absolutely can, which is really nice for deer hunting and shit like that. I don't exactly remember the capacity on the tube. I imagine like 7+1. We'll find out here in a minute. We got a nice loading gate, which is really, really nice. The lever is smooth right out of the factory. We have a flat face trigger right there. We have a pretty decently serrated hammer on the back there, which is important for lever guns because sometimes you want to run it like that. We have a safety on the receiver that I notoriously always forget about. And then I pull the trigger a few times and I'm like, why doesn't the gun go off? The second round did not go off. Safety, I forgot. And then I use the safety. Stock on the back's pretty sick. It's a composite of some kind. And we also have a pretty decent loop. So it's halfway between a big loop and a small loop. And it feels really good when you run the gun, but I don't think it's big enough for me to Terminator flip. But I only have like 50 rounds of each, 38 special and 357. So it'll be relatively short first shots, but we'll get some rounds down range and I will give you my first impressions. Now, lever guns usually don't get shot as much as semi-automatics and stuff like that. So 100 rounds should give us a pretty good judge of whether it's a decent gun or at least decent enough for you to get. Now, before we do that, I do want to mention my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys very much. It's because of you guys we have cool guns and ammo on the channel. Specifically, the ammo for this video was purchased by the Patreon supporters, so I appreciate that. If you want to support the channel, just go to the link in the description below. Also in that description is a link to a local shelter in Ames, Iowa. It's the YSS. Those kids could really use your help, so please go down there and donate to those kids. All right, so we're going to just test our optic here and see if it's zeroed. I just want to get some shots of 38 special through it. I shot 5 rounds of the 357, and now we'll see if it runs 38 special. It does, and it shoots nice. Handle's nice. It's a fun little gun.
How's the loop feel?
What?
Is it gritty?
No, it's smooth. It's real smooth. The loading gate's a little stiff. I'll show you that here. So, I was showing Bubs. He's never shot a lever gun before. It's gonna be his first time. A lot of times when you have a stiff gate like this, a stiff opening, but you load it halfway in like this, then you can shove the rest of the rounds in there. In my experience, pistol rounds seem to be a little hard to load in lever guns sometimes, especially when they're new, and I'm sure this will wear in. This is kind of the case for every lever gun I've ever had, except for my 1873. Apparently we're gonna get a fucking hurricane here. Some problem cycling that 38 special right there.
This is why I don't shoot lever actions, to be honest.
The shittiest part about shooting lever actions is the loading of the gate, for
and
sure.
Same with shotguns.
It also has a tube up here, I think, that you can pull open if you want. It went over his left shoulders, not that much. There you go. Sorry, man.
It's a real professional operation here today.
It always is. That's why people tune in to see my my outstanding professionalism.
Oh. The action on this is so smooth, I don't have to do my bullshit thing that I developed for, I don't remember which one.
It's the POF. There's an interesting technique you have there. Whatever works.
Yeah!
The POF 9mm. Yeah,
the POF was so gritty, I had to like develop a weird way to rack it.
The other nice thing about that over the POF is the POF's just a 9. This is a full power 357, which, you know, is probably double the power. I
used to hate lever actions, but this actually feels really
It's
really
your
good.
size. It's short and it's compact. I think this would be an excellent truck gun. I'm not going to lie to you. I think probably one of the better lever guns we've tried on the channel. Boop. You gotta fail. There you go. That's it. All right, let's try some 357 through it. It kind of likes the 38 Special, kind of not. All right, so we were using some Fiocchi 38 Special here, and it liked it the first few times. With that last magazine, I had a couple of hiccups. So now we're gonna switch over to the always outstanding Winchester White Box 357. I just have a lot of this, so we're gonna see how it goes. Now, the reason why it has a threaded barrel, and one of the huge benefits to a lever action, is they're extremely quiet when they're suppressed. Subsonic 38 Special is very, very quiet through a lever action because the chamber stays closed until you open it up with the lever. So it's a real cool gun to shoot stealthy. Getting good at that.
I didn't put it all the way down one time, and I noticed it right before I pulled the trigger. It's definitely a different movement to get used to.
Oh,
for sure.
So
for sure.
Another advantage to this is that all 50 states pretty much legal, and a lot of places who can't have ARs, they go toward these modernized 357s with the rail on it and the optic rail, so you can still have a red dot, you can still have a weapon light, maybe even a laser if you want, and you can run all that with your bullshit lever action because you live in Massachusetts. All right, well, that was interesting. We're getting kind of stormed out. Usually our audio is going to be a little bit better than this because usually Hurricane Crazy doesn't hit Iowa while we're out there shooting. Well, that being said, let's get right into it with the lever gun here. Now, the model 1854 357 Magnum by Smith Wesson, in my opinion, did not disappoint. It shoots 357 extremely well. The recoil is really, really smooth, and it was 100% with all of the Winchester White Box 357. Now, I did have a couple of bobbles with the 38 Special. However, that has been common with pretty much every lever action we've ever had on the channel. I like to shoot 38 Special a lot through lever guns because it's affordable, it's a little bit lower recoil, and you can find some that like some brands. That being said, just taking a random brand of 38 Special out and putting it through your lever gun sometimes can give you occasional feeding issues, which we had here. I would want it to be 100%, but the reality is I don't think we've had one that was. Now, the cool part about the 357 Smith & Wesson is that it not only performed as well as all the other lever guns we've had on the channel, but it has features of a gun in a much higher price tier, in my personal opinion. Usually if you're looking for features like this on a lever gun, you're probably gonna have to get it kitted out. We've had several of those on the channel, and I would say most of those are relatively underwhelming. Whereas this comes like this out of the factory with all the features that you want and none that you don't. The threaded barrel would be something I would absolutely want to suppress the gun because I will be doing that for future videos. The long rails we talked about before is pretty awesome. I really like the hammer system, and I really like the flat face trigger. I like the big loop on the bottom. I like that more than the standard regular like Winchester 1873 loops, but I would prefer it honestly be a little bit bigger so I can flip it around like Terminator 2, but that's really the only practical application for that. Honestly, if you're going to shoot it like a regular gun, this is probably better. Composite stock with a rubber butt pad feels really good. Has a sling swivel on the back and the front, and then obviously we have our M-LOK rail here for attachments. You want to put a vertical grip on it, That's kind of crazy, but you can do that if you want. I can definitely see a hand stop or even maybe a bipod, but the thing I would put on this, especially for people in banned states, would be a weapon light. The reason that these things exist is because of shitty laws made by shitty people to try to stop you from defending yourself with the best tool in your state. And because of guns like this, at least people are able to get this. If you can't get an AR-15, if you can't get a Mini 14 or an M1A, you can get this, and these guns are extremely effective in the right hands. Now, I know they're gonna limit you on your rapid fire a little bit by comparison to a semi-auto, but if you've been to a cowboy action shoot, that doesn't stop people from shooting them extremely fast. I think this is a great option for people out there. However, one of the issues that you might have with banned states with this is gonna be maybe that threaded barrel. You're gonna have to look into that yourself, but if this is applicable to you, I think it would be a good tool, especially for people maybe don't wanna get into an AR-15. They like the look, they like the silhouette of the lever gun. Maybe they used it their whole lives like me. I mean, I would feel very, very comfortable with a gun like this with 357 hollow points in it. I think I could get a lot done with this gun, including you could do a lot of hunting with this gun as well. But I think the main reason why I like this so much is because it looks cool. I think that's why the modern lever gun has gotten so popular in recent history, not just because it's effective in banned states, but because it looks cool. It has a really steampunk look to it, and I think this one has a very excellent look to it, partly because of the heat vents in the handguard there. That looks pretty sick. One of the things that I don't love about the gun is going to be the safety. I don't really like the placement of this safety. I didn't love it on the previous version, and I don't really love it on this. Safety in my day was half cock, and whether that's safe enough for you, that's entirely up to you. However, that is still what I prefer because I'm kind of old. But other than that, I think the gun's absolutely excellent. I did shoot underneath the optic a little bit and test these ghost ring sights, and they are superior to the buckhorn sights that I grew up with. I do prefer the ghost ring sight, and on top of that, the buckhorn's usually a little bit forward, so you do get a longer sight radius with this than you normally do with buckhorn sights, even though it has that short 16-inch barrel that's going to be good to CQB with and all the fun SOCOM dreams that you might have with your lever gun. Now, one of the things I do want to mention, we didn't shoot as many rounds through it as we normally do. First off, we don't have a lot of 357, and I only had a box of it, so that kind of shortened us in our ability to shoot it. So this is definitely not a review. This is just a first shot, and who knows whether this gun will continue to be reliable for the long haul, which is why we're going to take this out a few more times and shoot it. And if you want to see that, feel free to subscribe. The second thing I want to mention is we don't shoot lever guns as much as semi-autos because it's just a little bit harder to load. Now, one of the other issues I have with this gun is the same issue I have with many lever guns, especially when you get them new, is that this loading gate here has to break in, and it breaks in over time. And that time is not today. So it was very, very difficult to load this. And if you are a smaller statured shooter or you are somebody that is not accustomed to lever guns, you're going to have to get used to the action. First off, it's really tough to load the rounds into a loading gate by comparison to load an AR-15 magazine. The second thing is it's really easy to mess up the reliability of a lever gun yourself. It's not the mechanical reliability, but the reliability you can get out of the gun by operating the lever. So when you operate the lever, you want to go all the way out and all the way back in. You don't want to short stroke it the same way you don't want to short stroke a pump action shotgun. But overall, I think it's a cool gun. I think it's definitely worth the money, especially if you compare it to some custom gun. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.
Okay.
What's up, guys? This is Chris here, and today,
Baby, bring it down.
I get W Pro in. Fucking W Pro. I'm out here fucking screaming.
The mic is really powerful.
Metal.
All right.